Hello and welcome to the Generation Gap podcast. I'm Lunchbox.
I'm Gleek.
And I've actually been at home this week.
Really? No more Bible Camp, Missouri.
No more Bible Camp, Missouri. No more damn near being in St. Louis. Just been me running some old routes, running some routes for a couple other people. I was in Dyersburg the other day. I didn't realize Dyersburg had a mall. Yeah, I never knew. And
I bet you it's a dirt mall.
It was a level above.
Okay.
Like it was actually enclosed.
Oh.
Yeah. Like it was enclosed. So it looked like a normal mall, like what we have in Paducah or in Jackson.
Indoor flea market.
It wasn't an indoor flea market. It was an actual mall. It had separate stores. But where I parked at, to kind of wait for time to pass, to be able to see the next customer, I was right next to it, pretty much in the next parking lot over, and I was like, I wonder what's inside of it. So instead of actually going inside the mall, because that would take effort and walking and giving a shit and not flicking boogers in my truck while listening to Rush Limbaugh, I decided to bring up my Star Trek communicator.
Nothing but class here on the...
Yeah, nothing but class of doing all of those things.
Yeah.
But I went ahead and I Googled, I was like, Dyersburg Mall. And then it came up with like a list of stores. The only one that I had heard of on that entire list was JCPenney. The rest of it seemed like local bullshit that people had opened up in that store.
Yeah. Corn cobs are us.
Corn cobs are us. There wasn't anything that was... like, they had, like, their shit version of a Hobby Lobby in there. It looked like, and I was like, well, what is this? And it looks at the inventory, and that's exactly what it is. It's like a small version of Hobby Lobby with just, like, fabrics and string and shit, and, like, none of the cool stuff, like the buildable V8 engine that runs.
Yeah,
you see it?
Yeah.
None of the toy robots, none of that shit. Bitches, we got cloth, and we got shit to put it together with.
Oh my god. Yeah. It sounds silly. It makes me think of years back. Alright, it's been a few years back now. Out on the West Coast, and I remember we went to trim some buds one time when the crop come in. And we had to go to a Joann's Fabrics to look for these fucking special scissors. And it was so funny. And we're buying them, and these motherfuckers are expensive.
Was it because the plant was so sticky that
it
was like a stick resistant scissor?
Yeah, they would eventually gum up, but for clipping buds, they were perfect. And it was so funny. We get them, and the woman that's at the counter, she says, "I wonder what's so special about these scissors. We've been selling a bunch of them the last couple of weeks."
You and your buddy are just like, But what did make them special that didn't come up?
Well, for one, they didn't wear your hand out.
Okay, so it wasn't like your standard, Yeah,
it wasn't a standard
two
scissors.
In the pink, one in the stink looking scissor.
These are like spring-loaded V-shaped. Almost
like a clipper?
Yeah, kind of like a clipper, but they're more like fucking razor blades on the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
like it had like a trigger thing.
Yeah, they would clack. When you use them, it'd make a clicking like a.
So it was more like expensive dog fingernail cutters, like with that mechanism.
Yeah, when you closed them, they want to open themselves back up.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And trust me, when you clip it as much as we did years ago, in case anybody wonders, it was legal. He was a card carrier, all that happy shit.
We only do the most legal of things here on this show.
That's right.
Twiddle's invisible long mustache.
Yeah, I made that whole trip out there and back just because I felt like I was going to college. I went to learn a skill,
So the Cheech and Chong Technical Institute, is that
damn right?
Holy shit, they need to get on that. Cheech and Chong Technical Institute.
Yeah.
Hey, I say. I got some nice dreams for you. I got some ice cream for you.
Hang on a second. Well, I went off on a weird fucking tangent, didn't it?
Well, fucking Cheech and Chong University. You know how, like, if Donald Trump's university got that many people involved with it and it was super expensive, and he made a ton of money off of scamming people like that, allegedly. I don't want to be sued.
Yeah.
If he made a ton of money off of that, then why couldn't Cheech and Chong like run a pot growing course out in California or in Colorado?
Yeah. Hell, they should.
Like, they could even do like instructional DVD kits.
Oh my God. Cheech and Chong doing videos like fucking Jorge Cervantes.
Yeah, about how to grow pot.
Yeah, the Grower's Bible.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that's a book to check out, folks. You will love it.
I actually seen it in the only High Times that I ever owned.
Really?
Was, well, it wasn't showing the Grower's Bible. I think it was before he wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was like mid-2000s. And it was just like his greenhouse setup that he was showing off. Like...
Yeah, watch his 6-part video about how to set up a greenhouse. And
now, how long is each one of these 6 parts?
Like an hour and something.
So it's a good 6-hour instructional video.
Yeah, and his videos where he travels the world, like finding growers in all these different countries and showing their processes. That's a good one too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, one of the coolest ones is where I think he's in Spain. I'm not gonna give it away. It's just it's cool as shit.
Where they're growing Spanish fly.
I don't know what.
I always
Spanish fly is a bug.
Yeah, I know, but that would be a great name for a strain.
Yeah, it would.
Like just like a strain of pot that makes you extremely horny.
And then if you make an offshoot, you call it the Marty McFly.
Marty, that makes you see backwards in time.
Give me a bag of that. Fuck.
It's like
you're dying over there.
Oh my God, just like man, when did this Tupac music video come out? 94.
Fuck.
This shit's really good.
Yeah, the only video of his I give a shit about was California Love. You know, the Mad Max one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the only video he ever had that I gave a fuck about.
I'm about to get crucified because I'm going to say that...
Yeah, fuck Tupac.
Yeah, I don't like any of his music. It's like, it's not good. To put it simply,
not at all.
It lacks a bunch of stuff that I like in rap music, which is complexity, pretty much like references to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't have references to shit, that means your stuff is just very at surface. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything that ties it to anything else.
I just liked it because, hey, it was Mad Max.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Well, that too, and just when I saw the video, it premiered on a New Year's, and I was in a hotel room partying, me and a buddy and a couple of girls.
So that's when you smoked the Marty McFly?
No. That all that other shit took place years later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a result. It was a result of smoking the Marty McFly in the future, and then you remember the California Love music video.
Just saying that video just brings me memories of like just getting really fucked up and fucking some chick. Yeah.
I think I would have pleasant memories about that. Maybe that's why I like King of the Hill so much.
Okay.
Well, it was... God. Why is it always that I tell weird stories?
I have no idea.
Okay.
How the fuck do we even get into this?
I don't know. It was pretty much, well, we have really no subjects.
Not really.
Sick Nasty last week, I think.
That was one of the hardest editing things I've ever done in my life.
Like I can imagine you were able to crank that out in a day though.
There was a day of looking at it that I've started to get into it, and I had to just back the fuck off of it. I'm like, I can't deal with this right now.
Well, I think he just pulled a lot of shit that we wanted to talk about, just like right the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're pretty much left this week. because I've pretty much had I've had absolutely no conflict this week. I haven't read anything interesting, and I haven't watched anything interesting. I mean, I'm going through Breaking Bad for the third time. I've been playing a fuck ton of Fallout whenever like I've had the opportunity to. But besides that, dude, like I haven't been watching wrestling lately because it sucked. I find myself like in a loop of where I've been like, oh yeah, I've seen this YouTube video before. I'm avoiding all of like the Fallout. Like, I really want to watch videos about Fallout.
Yeah, but like, you don't want to give nothing away.
Yeah, as soon as it says spoiler warning, I turn it off. Like even if it says slight spoiler warning, I'm just like, no, I can't see it.
Yeah.
But you know, I haven't done anything except for
this week for me has been I watched some movies, you know, and I've fucking tried working on one of my bikes. Other than that, man, I haven't really done shit.
I watched about 10 minutes of Rocky today.
The original?
Yeah, the original Rocky movie.
Yeah.
I watched 10 minutes of it. And you know what happened? Fallout. Fallout. You could get boxing gloves and Fallout. It's okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I've seen a few films. I've seen some good ones, and I think they're good. I mean, I watched this one. I'll tell you about it. I watched this one. The movie was made for like 10 grand. And now, it's a weird one. The acting sucks. The story kind of sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Everything about it is just really piss poor. It's like they were doing what they could with what they had. But it passes the one big test that all movies should. Were you entertained?
Yeah.
Yes, I was. And that movie's OzLand.
I think it was me with the Mad Max movie that
Yeah.
kind of put that idea as like, it entertained me.
Yeah. That's kind of put it in my head, you know, that really is what's important.
Yeah.
It's the special effects don't mean shit. None of it means shit. At the end, did you walk away either not even feeling good?
Not feeling any sort of fulfillment.
Yeah.
It's just like, to me, like watching a movie is I have this amount of time that I want to pass with anything. Could be good or bad. If I enjoy it, it'd be a good thing. Or if it entertained me, it'd be a good thing. If it didn't entertain me, I'm doing something else. Well, like I'm stopping watch this, I'm doing something else.
OzLand ends on a really fucked up note. Well, let me explain what the film's about. It's post-apocalyptic. There's been a nuke war. And it's the way they present it, it's supposed to be like 30, 40 years before. And yeah. And these two characters, you never find out how they meet. One's a guy who looks to be about maybe 20. The other one's maybe 30.
So they skip like the weird kind of odd origin story of...
Yeah. And they were raised up by single parents. One by his mother. The other one by his father. And they were raised up after the war. So they don't have any memory of the world before. And
all they see is pretty much, here was what civilization used to be.
Yeah, and they're all alone. You know, and somehow they found each other. And one can read, the other one can't. And I guess you could call him the dreamer. He's the one that can read. He was raised by his mother. The one that's the realist, survivalist type, the older guy, he was raised by his father. And they go through a school at one point, and the younger guy finds an old copy of The Wizard of Oz. And he starts reading it to his friend, you know, like to entertain him, just read a chapter at a time. And they go through the book. He starts seeing shit in his world and being the dreamer, I guess, the kind of guy that would be attracted towards religion.
Yeah.
He starts questioning, is Oz real? You know, are they telling us something that actually happened or hinting at it? And there's a lot of shit that happens that makes him think that this shit could be real. And
Oz is real.
It is.
Yeah, it's real. It's Chicago from The Wiz.
Yeah, Anywho, I was thinking of one of the Heinlein books, you know, where he talked about the many worlds.
Oh, yeah.
That idea.
No, I had to ruin everything.
What was the name of that book? Fuck, I can't remember. There's one of them. It's like Heinlein's closest to a fantasy story he ever told. But it's the many worlds idea. Mm-hmm. And you realize that Oz does exist somewhere. Yeah, he mentions... let me go back. There's a story with many worlds and then a fantasy book that deals...
within the many worlds.
Kind of. In Mark of the Beast, they're running from world to world, and one of the worlds they dodge into is Oz. Yeah.
As soon as I would have landed in Oz, if I was to be Dorothy, sat ass first in the middle of a bunch of midgets from the Lollipop Guild, I'd be like, all right, you guys have candy and you're not sharing.
Yeah.
That's very rude. I'm a guest here. But you can take the ruby slippers. I don't give a shit about that dead bitch underneath the house. Those are stilettos. I'm fat. I would break the shits instantly.
You know that shit was only in the movie, right? The ruby slippers.
Really?
Yeah, it was a silver. It was a silver crown in the book.
Well, I would rather wear the silver crown than some ruby ass slippers. Didn't they have heels on them too in the movie?
No, they weren't. The fuck kind of eyes are you watching that Dorothy's walking around in high heels?
I've killed a bunch of brain cells, and Toto sang...
That sounds like a porno or something.
When it rained down in Africa, and they were in Kansas, and all of a sudden, some shit happened.
Dorothy comes in wearing the fucking red fuck me pumps.
And then Lion-O and the Crow... And they piss on the witch because they don't have any water. And in my world, I think the wizard would be Nicolas Cage. That's who I would cast as the wizard.
Will you ever notice when you watch the movie, there's one scene where the Scarecrow's carrying a .38? I am not fucking playing.
Hopefully that's not an urban legend like what the midget hanging himself is, and then they edited in the HD version to be a
stork or something.
It's either a crane or a stork.
Yeah. Well, you watch, dude. It's really fucking in there. All right. The fucking Scarecrow has a pistol. Huh. There was supposed to be a cut scene, like where they get attacked by something in the woods and use the gun.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can find that on like some Blu-ray or DVD extra shit.
You can find it on YouTube. I've seen it.
Well, no, I'm talking about like the cut scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would have been something to dig through the vaults for.
Fucking Scarecrow doing a Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
You feel lucky, punk.
But
there's a winged monkey laying there, reaching for a shotgun. But anyway, back to this movie. It's good. And I mean, I don't know. It was entertaining.
It'll entertain you, but it wasn't...
It's not a quality film.
Yeah.
It's really not.
So it seemed more like a student film project thing.
Yeah, it was some independent film thing from like Mississippi.
It could have very well been
a student
film. Yeah,
it's possible. I've seen some other shit though, dude. Man, I saw this one that you would fucking love. Okay. Now, here's where it fucks with my head. Do you remember we watched the Last Will and Testament of George Harrison?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen that documentary 4 times, by the way.
Yeah. Now, did you know that it's now labeled as a mockumentary?
Yeah, I've seen that. God, the last time I looked up the movie was probably when I first was starting to stay over here.
Yeah.
So over 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty recent though that they actually started labeling it mockumentary. The same guy. All right. He also did this one. It's called Elvis Found Alive. Yeah, it starts off the concept that Elvis is alive and he's tracked him down to some place in like California. And Elvis is telling his story of why he got out of the business. He says, to tell you the whole story, I've got to take you back to the beginning. And it's this whole thing that Elvis is alive, that he wants to come back out, but he's afraid of the reaction that he'll get. And dude, if you look on YouTube, they've released a lot of fucking music under this, and it's some Elvis imitator or something doing this shit.
And so it sounds like they're making it sound like original Elvis tracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so great.
Like it's Elvis doing some later rock songs and shit. But you have to watch it because the way the picture of him, the way the name, Elvis Found Alive, dude, it's like some Weekly World News shit.
And that's just the total opposite approach he took with The Last Will and Testament of George Harrison.
Yeah. Or Dreams of My Real Father. Which, when you look that up...
Oh, it was Joel...
yeah, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his last name.
When you look up Dreams of My Real Father, though, it doesn't say jack shit about mockumentary.
No. That's why I want to watch his film Utopia.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't been able to find that anywhere yet, except for rent on YouTube, and I'm not ready to fork over my dollars to rent something on YouTube yet.
Yeah.
Which is still like a weird concept to me, even though they've been doing this shit for years.
Well, you gotta watch this because it's neat as shit. The whole concept was that Elvis, he was getting sick of the way the world was going in the 60s. And he blamed drugs and stuff and the communists. And he wanted to do something to help America.
But yet,
Elvis
did a fuck ton of drugs.
Prescription. All prescription drugs.
Okay, so he sees painkillers as being different than...
Yeah, they were given to him by his doctor.
Oh, and all that doctor shopping...
Yeah.
Wasn't because he wanted drugs. It was because he was an American and didn't smoke pot.
Well, see, the way that they play it is that he wanted to be like his hero, Captain Marvel Jr. All right?
Okay.
And that and it's crazy. They keep flipping back to these old comics, right? Of how that Elvis thinks that he said, sometimes to know my future, I would read the old issues of Captain Marvel Jr. to find out what's going to happen to me next. They keep switching like something that happened in his life, and here's where it appears in the comic, something similar. He goes to Nixon and demands that he get, he's made a member of the DEA. And so he goes on a secret investigation, that
he wouldn't be recognized.
Well, no. The idea is that he's Elvis.
Thank you.
And he does his stage acts and all this, but he sets up shit in the background. And that who he's after is Captain... He calls it... This is so fucked up. He calls him Captain Nazi after the bad guy in the...
Captain Marvel Jr.
Yeah, Captain Marvel Jr. comics. It's Bill Ayers. Yeah, from the Weather Underground. And how that he's setting up like drug deals and shit using the Memphis Mafia. Yeah, his boys, and
to catch Bill Ayers.
And it goes on, how that he helps take them down in the early 70s, and then they get off on like a technicality and all this.
You mean like in real life?
Yeah. And then switches over to how that he uses his contacts with Frank Sinatra later to help bring down these big mob bosses in the 70s, and then after he dies, he goes through a whole thing of how they faked the death, that they used a real dead body that like Dr. Nick, his doctor.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. That there was a terminal ill patient that he had, and that they kept him alive at Graceland in the guest house out back until it was time for him to fake his death.
So they just like fattened him up and was like, "Here, wear this sequin cape."
That's why he got fat. Because see that the guy that was like terminally ill and dying or dead, he was fat.
So
yeah, he was an Elvis.
It wasn't the peanut butter banana bacon grilled sandwiches,
which was awesome.
It was his body double is dying out in his pool house.
Yeah, and see the problem that he describes it. One of the problems was that he had gotten too big, all right, to actually match the body double. So when they put him in the coffin, all right, and this guy threw in every conspiracy theory you could think of about Elvis's death. And I mean, made a beautiful fucking stew out of it. And this comes out of the Inquirer, All right. Nobody was allowed to have a camera during the funeral.
Because of how fat Elvis was?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. If you look at the picture, it don't look right. That is not a fat Elvis. And Elvis's cousin took a picture, got paid like $1 million by the National Enquirer back then. And people for years have said, that is a wax dummy.
Of Elvis?
Yeah, and some of his relatives have actually come out and said that.
What if it was like they did Stalin and Lenin, and they like preserved him? That's what they should have done with Elvis in Graceland. Could you imagine like all like
the Lone Ranger's horse Trigger?
Yeah, just like fucking shellac some Elvis, man, and have him in a glass case, and then people could just walk by him all day in Graceland.
Make the ultimate Elvis on velvet. Anyway, he's going on that they had took a wax head from some wax museum and had put it in the coffin, and then what everybody buried was like an air conditioner in this wax head. Yeah. And this is something that's been around for years, like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but I never looked into it because I've always been like, what a bunch of kooks.
Well, I'm not going to go into all that, but let's just say there is some iffy shit about that whole thing. The different stories. There's multiple different stories.
It happens with everyone famous who dies, but yeah.
One of the guys that found him dead is told of 2 different places he found him dead. One was in the shitter, one was laying in his bed. Same dude told 2 different stories. Yeah. Anyway, the whole thing, he fakes his death. He goes off and he pretends to be an Elvis impersonator so he can be himself.
Did he get second place in an Elvis impersonating contest?
I don't know.
Like Groucho Marx did for Groucho Marx impersonating contest?
Yeah. Well, he told me he goes to conventions. But
of course he does. I wonder if he watched Bubba Hotep.
I hope. God, I hope. That fucking movie's awesome. But anyway, he describes how that he worked as a secret agent for the U.S. government, all the way up until like 2004. It's fucking crazy. Watching this documentary, I'm like, dude, somebody
stop and put your hands up. Thank you very much.
Somebody has to make a mini series of this. Wouldn't you watch Elvis
PD?
Yeah, a fucking secret agent Elvis.
Well, like you can make not secret agent Elvis, but Elvis Presley PD, and like have him
PI.
Not even PI. Like make him a police officer. Make him like wear that typical blue uniform,
Yeah.
And then like have like 3 buttons undone. Have him like large and like always with some jelly donuts.
His badge on the side says TCB with a big old lightning bolt.
He's got the back of it sequenced with Officer Elvis,
which according to him was that the whole costume and the lightning bolt was Captain Marvel Jr. He had to have a super suit. I swear to God, it's fucking beautiful, dude. This is like the Weekly World News fucking come to life. I swear to God, it's fucking beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Once again, I was thoroughly entertained.
It sounds like it. It sounds like one of those things that I would just sit back and watch and be like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know what's going on, but I want more of it.
This is all silly and crazy. Dish out me another ladleful.
Exactly. Oh man, I enjoyed the fuck out of that.
Secret Agent Presley. Dude, if he was like a secret agent for the government, how quickly he would have been recognized by anyone ever.
Yeah, well, the thing was, did you know that for real, he was honest to God deputy in like numerous fucking areas around the country?
Because he wanted it.
Yeah.
Like that was like one of his requests.
Yeah.
Because he was out there beating up hippies.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. He actually did, for real, meet fucking Nixon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and wanted to genuinely be an agent of like the DEA.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a fucking letter that he wrote.
Which I watched all that, and Nixon like invited him to the White House.
Yeah. And he really did give Nixon a fucking pistol. Supposedly Elvis walked into the White House with a .45 pistol.
Yeah. Well, it's Elvis Presley.
Yeah, he walked in and presented it to him as a gift.
He was more famous than the president.
Yeah. What was they said about Lennon and the Beatles?
They're bigger than Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if who would you pay to hear for 2 hours? Jesus or the Beatles?
Well, first off, I don't know if Jesus existed.
I'm pretty sure the Beatles existed.
Yeah, since there's still one of them around.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Poor Ringo. poor Ringo.
His solo dude, I tried listening to Ringo solo shit.
Some of it's alright. Not a lot, dude. Not a lot. He's got some good ones, though.
If you cherry pick by like looking down at it from at least, I would say 20 feet up, and you're like, and you spit in the wind, and like a droplet of spittle lands on like a song title.
Yeah. You
might be able to listen to that one. That one might be tolerable.
His best one, I think, is It Don't Come Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Well, even George Harrison, he had a bunch of hits, but he's got he had what? Maybe 4 or 5.
Well, it's like everyone looks back at John Lennon's solo shit with like such like, it's like, oh yeah, it's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, name something that isn't Imagine or Working Class Hero.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you have How Do You Sleep at Night?
Yeah.
And then outside of that, it's just like radio studio demos, shit with Yoko Ono.
Oh, fuck no.
And then like just like random tracks. And you're like, all right, so I can either listen to John Lennon and like be like everybody else, or I can go and listen to Syd Barrett.
True.
Yeah.
True. Which, Fall kind of pisses me off in a way, but some of his Wings stuff is good.
Some of his Wings stuff is good. I like some of the stuff he did with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. Well, who doesn't like young Michael? I mean, come on.
Yeah, everyone loves some young Michael.
Yeah, but I'd say by the time he got his head burned off...
He still had some ones after that, man.
A couple.
Like Black or White.
Bad.
Bad was before he burned off all his hair.
No, he burned himself up in like 84. Doing a Pepsi commercial. I can actually remember when that shit come on the news. Michael Jackson got burned up at,
Yeah, so PYT came after that too.
Was Pretty Young Thing, was it on the Thriller album? That was way afterward, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I think it was on the same album as Bad. I don't know. This is such a deep tangent. Like, I can sit through there and it's time to bring up some Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And on this episode of the Musical Listeners Podcast here on NPR,
we Wikipedia the fuck out of everything.
Out of Michael Jackson's musical career. Which is something we just don't need to do. I mean... No. Like, I like what Michael Jackson did.
Yeah.
I'm not as much as a fan to give a shit about what fucking album shit's on.
Or if you want to get into some good shit, you want to be thoroughly entertained. Dude, seriously, you want to be entertained for hours? Go look into the whole Michael Jackson got killed by the Illuminati conspiracy theory stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about some Weekly World News shit.
Oh, yeah. That Sony Records killed him.
Thoroughly entertaining.
Dude, the only thing that I think Michael Jackson's death brought about was how big of a piece of shit his family is.
Yeah. People already knew that.
Well, no, people already knew that, but they didn't know. I don't think, at least I didn't know the extent of how much it was, because his father and one of his brothers came on there, and instead of talking about Michael at all, this is a red carpet event going into his funeral, all right?
Yeah.
Into his wake or whatever the fuck it was. They were promoting their own record label.
Of course. On
television. And I was sitting here watching and I was like, you guys, your son just died.
You are a scummy fuck.
He was possibly the most popular pop artist in the world for an extended period of time. And you're going to talk about some shitty record label that might have some R&B artists on it. They're going to suck ass anyway.
Yeah.
And your musical career was never launched. And the only reason why any of your children are famous is because one of them actually had talent, and that one showed her boob once on television that caused everyone to go fucking nuts. You can go outside and eat a bag of hot dicks for all I care.
Go tell that shit to Tito, because nobody else gives a fuck.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't even think Tito has time for that. Tito ain't having that shit.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'll tell you something else I watched. And then this is oh shit. This was not an exciting movie. It's one of those movies like, okay, that was good, to watch once. I watched this new one out called Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes.
About Sherlock Holmes.
Like every other movie that seems to come out now.
Yeah, it's got, what's his name that played Gandalf.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of his name.
Can't remember that actor's name. It's a good movie, but it's kind of depressing as fuck because it's about Holmes.
Being old?
Oh yeah, like 93 and senile.
Is he still shooting the opiates or?
No.
Oh.
But it was good, but at the same time it's like I don't understand why movies always have to knock down the heroes. Have you noticed that?
It's to make them more real.
I understand to make them more real. And they hint at the idea in the movie that all the shit was written by Watson. That Watson took these cases and changed them and shit and made penny dreadfuls out of all of it. But still, I was like, I don't understand. This happens a lot in movies. And hell, even that Elvis mockumentary, isn't that the same thing kind of? You always seem to have to clip the wings off the heroes.
Well, it's like what they're about to do in Captain America Civil War.
Yeah. Is
they're going to make Tony Stark seem like a piece of shit.
Tony Stark was a piece of shit.
He's always been a piece of shit, but they're going to make these new Marvel fans be like, I don't know how I like anymore. I'm like, all right, he's an alcoholic, angry little self-loathing billionaire drug addict. He's not as bad as Batman.
War profiteer.
He's just a scummy piece of shit that wanted mutants to register. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But yet again, if you even like skim the surface of comics, you're gonna know that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what really, really sucks about the story, what really sucks about it being in this Disney Marvel universe, and then the Disney Marvel universe being separate from the Fox Marvel universe, is the most compelling story out of the entire thing from Civil War is the Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because he's struggling with his own identity, like he always does.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Thing an interesting character. Possibly the most interesting character of the Fantastic Four.
Which kills me. Why in the fuck is it? They say that they've never made a good Fantastic Four. You've heard that said.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked some of the other ones. Not this latest bullshit. I ain't watching this. But, the series ended up with Silver Surfer in it.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, they're crappy movies in a way, but I kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't, let's put it this way. It wasn't super fucking bad. And name me one more fucking movie that had the Silver Surfer. I want Silver Surfer in a goddamn movie.
Well, they
fucked him up.
They fucked up Galactus too.
Yeah. But
which if you want to piss off a hardcore nerd really quick, just mention Galactus being a cloud within I think 50 meters of wherever I am. They're like, what?
Yeah. Well, that's what I want. Ultimately, I'd love a Silver Surfer movie. I want to see the Gardener. I want to see the Mantis, and
I want to see the Watchers.
Yeah, you damn right.
Guardians of. I went back after watching the Guardians of the Galaxy movie and read the first 5 issues. Mm-hmm. It kind of sucks.
Really?
Guardians of the Galaxy, the comic book, kind of sucks.
Never had no interest.
The movie, fucking awesome.
Which
is the exact opposite.
I don't know what it is about these newer Marvel movies. I don't have any interest in them. I watched the first 1 or 2 Iron Mans.
Yeah.
And I watched a bunch of the early fucking X-Men shit. I just don't give a shit.
I get exactly where you're coming from because I can't hardcore bust a nut over any of it.
Yeah. Well, the one where all I remember was Wolverine flying through the fucking air and like taking out a helicopter. Jumping off a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah. The X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, that was
Which was terrible.
That was like one of the last Marvel movies I fucking watched. Because as soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, I'm done.
Me and Sick Nasty saw it in theaters, actually.
Oh my God, you paid?
Yeah, we paid to go see. Well, no, I got.
I'd have paid not to see the motherfucker.
I got movie tickets for Christmas or something, like the coupons you can exchange, and it's a coupon book, and
yeah.
So I had like 4 of them, and I decided to take. It was like me and a buddy and a dad to the first Star Trek movie that came out, and then the other one, me and Sick Nasty went to go and see. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean they ruined that wasn't the only like fucking character they ruined. They ruined Deadpool in that one. Who was it? There was Sabretooth?
I think so.
They fucked up Sabretooth by making him one of the main vampires from the Blade movies, which the guy that played Sabretooth
was in Blade.
Was in the 3rd Blade movie.
Which to me is, when it comes to Marvel movies, that is, without a doubt, the first 2 Blades especially. They are the best.
The 3rd one too.
It's got its good parts. I'm not going to shit on it. Those are the best Marvel movies ever.
I really like the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Dude,
it is hard to beat Blood Rave. I mean, come on. Blood Rave is...
There's so many good scenes in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, especially the surprise ending, like with the Howard the Duck cameo.
Yeah, there's another one. There, wait a minute. Okay, Marvel movies. There you go.
Howard the Duck.
Everybody shits on Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck was a fucking awesome movie.
He was he was like, to me, his character was kind of like a Archie Bunker in duck form, which is kind of what you need, man.
Dude, I wish we could produce it. Could you imagine actually be able to do the duck version of All in the Family?
Oh my God. Have it like the Duck Tales intro mixed with the piano intro.
That would be fucking great. God, I wish I could animate,
But yeah, Howard the Duck is
well, the comics from Howard the Duck were fucking badass.
Yeah. Even though he's not like that, he's not that deep of a character. But he's very real.
Yeah.
And like you find yourself identifying with the problems of an anthropomorphic duck.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, you step back and your question, like, But
yeah, I will never shit on the Howard the Duck movie, because even when I was a kid, I used to collect the bubblegum cards.
Well,
I had a fuck ton of those.
I remember the first time that I watched it when I was a kid, and then it just didn't like dawn on me until years later. I was like, I remember a movie that there was an opening scene where a duck crashed through a wall and there was duck boobs.
Yeah.
And then
I had that Playboy too. You remember the Playboy that he's reading? Play Duck?
Yeah.
It was a copy of Playboy where they took the pictures from what was supposed to be in Play Duck and put them, like show people what was supposed to be inside the magazine.
Huh.
Yeah. And one of them was like the centerfold of the duck. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But then like, I got to looking into it and then ended up watching Howard the Duck, of course, and like, yeah, it's not a bad movie. I don't understand why people shit on it.
Yeah, it's not great. Now, I'm not saying it's, it's something special, but when it comes to enjoyment,
yeah,
that's one of my, up in there in the few Marvel movies that I actually liked. I don't know. It's like that latest Punisher movie. There was a couple of scenes in that were okay.
You need to watch Warzone then.
Yeah?
Warzone has Norm from Seinfeld.
Really?
As...
Wait a minute, Norm from Seinfeld?
No, God, what's the name of that character that Newman, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's his microchip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one's what I'm thinking.
Surprisingly, it's a really good spot on microchip.
Yeah. Yeah, that he was a good one. But to me, it reminded me too much of his character from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I think that's why they cast him in that.
Well, the scene, though, that to me, that seemed like Punisher. When it comes to it, like, they fucking nailed the Punisher exactly. It's when he's got the dude hanging up, and he's interrogating his ass, and he puts the steak on the fucking burner, and, to scare that dude. At the same moment it sizzles, he sticks that fucking popsicle to his back.
Yeah.
That's the shit the Punisher would do. If he doesn't actually want to hurt a guy who's innocent, but I've got to get info from him, I'll use whatever dirty trick it takes,
Still one of my favorite series of comic books of all time is Marvel Max and their telling of the Punisher story. Because if Marvel Max really didn't need to tell any story that there was out of the entire universe, it was definitely the Punishers.
Yeah.
Because it's gritty, it's raw.
Well, that's the thing. I don't understand it, though. The regular comic was pretty fucking gritty and raw.
This is even grittier.
Yeah.
But
don't they think that an alternate universe?
It's supposed to be, well, of course everything is alternate universe from Earth 616.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be frank about, I would say, 20, maybe 30 years out of main storyline. So he's up in his mid to late 50s.
Yeah.
He's not the young buck that he used to.
Yeah.
But yet he's still a fucking badass.
Yeah, he tends to, instead of acting quickly on shit, he thinks it out and uses his smarts. And
I mean, when you have in the very first comic.
So that's what I liked about Punisher. It wasn't his go in and shoot everybody bullshit. It was the way that he got around it. Like, I've got to deal with 40 men at once.
It was like in the very first issue of Punisher Max. These mobsters are having the 100th birthday party for a Don. And he goes in quietly, doesn't say anything to anybody. Nobody recognizes him until the Don recognizes him. He's got a breathing machine on. He's a frail old man. He can't say nothing. Punisher puts a gun up to his head and blows his brains out right in the middle of the party.
Yeah.
He then makes his way through the crowd and waits outside. Everyone is pissed and they come outside with their guns. And he uses a .50 caliber automatic to mow down everybody that comes out.
Yeah.
Then he waits for the funeral, which is 2-3 days later, in which the ones that he wasn't able to kill or the ones he was just able to injure, he pulls up in the van and shoots the rest of them.
Well, it's like the very first issue from, what was it, 80... I want to say 88, 89, when they give him a series.
Yeah.
There was originally like a 4 or 5 parter back in the 70s. But when he got his first series, there's a thing where he has to deal. If you look on the cover, it's got him crawling up a building with a fucking tow missile on his back. And that's the way I like the Punisher, is that he had a whole fuck ton of people to deal with. So what did he do? Fuck it. He puts a tow missile into the side of a building, I love fucking Punisher, man.
There's no way to get around it. I mean, depth-wise, the stories you're able to tell them. He's a very versatile character. I mean, he's worked with Batman on some crossovers, part of the Avengers, part of the Thunderbolts.
Whoop Daredevil's ass.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he beat the shit out of Daredevil. I won't ever forget that crossover.
But then, he's able to have a very deep and yet relatable everyman character.
Yeah.
That is so fucking hard to do with characters like Bruce Wayne or Clark Kent.
Well, he actually let his guard down once. Generally, he doesn't give a fuck about anybody. Punisher don't. It's all about his revenge. There's one where the Kingpin had fucking Microchip held hostage. And he's after the Kingpin. And there's a scene where he has to let the Kingpin go. Because literally Kingpin has got Microchip and is about to break his fucking neck. And the Punisher lets Kingpin go to save Micro's life.
Yeah.
Even though Micro's screaming at him, just shoot the son of a bitch.
Because, Micro is his friend.
Yeah.
Like, even though there are other editions where he ends up killing Micro.
Yeah. Well, he kind of hints at it, though, that the reason he kept Micro alive was not just that it was his friend, because Micro would be really useful in the future.
Yeah.
And it was, the fight is bigger than the Kingpin. Yeah.
The fight's always bigger than
the
end boss, except for Thanos.
Well,
I don't know, the fight doesn't get much bigger than Thanos.
Thanos, God. Right back to that fucking Avengers shit, It
was a really good fucking plot point, though, in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Like, they probably showed him the most in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have no fucking clue what they're going to do with the next X-Men movie.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Years back, whenever that shit was new, and it was on the fucking comic book aisle, I didn't give a fuck about Thanos.
The Infinity Gauntlet?
I didn't care about none of that shit.
Really?
I didn't care.
Even though Thanos is another one of those, like, oddly interesting characters.
I don't know, dude. I had weird tastes in comics, I mean, a lot of their big stories, I didn't give a fuck.
It's like Thanos secretly wishing, like, his only weakness is just a personality trait of his, which is secretly wishing to lose.
Yeah. Well, I would be more interested, me personally, I'd be more interested, I want to see the story of the High Evolutionary. Yeah. To me, that was just way the hell more interesting. And the whole Evolutionary War. I mean, I bought a whole fuck ton of those comics, crossovers and shit. Fucking annuals and all kinds of crap. I even bought the What If he had won the Evolutionary War.
I kind of wish that they would finally bring the Scree and the Skrull into this new...
I think they're going to, dude.
They need to eventually, because like they were such a big part of like Marvel shit, and then just
especially Fantastic Four and shit,
especially even the Avengers. Yeah. You want to let's do Secret Wars, man. Fuck Ultron. Yeah. Like fuck Ultron. I don't give a shit about Ultron.
Yeah.
Give me Secret Wars any day of the week.
Yeah.
Because like not only can you have like that. Ultron is like a big final baddie. It's too fucking serious. Yeah, man.
Well, if you do,
if you have an army of Scree and Skrull, especially the Skrull, like, could you imagine like fucking Hulk just like in the movies, like smashing down on a couple of them, and just like purple blood squirts out everywhere underneath his fist, and he's just like doing that through like all of New York. Yeah, and he ends up like taking a big one by the leg and like taking out like 20 of the smaller ones. Shit would be hilarious to watch. Like you can have this like whole big fight like going on, like Thor taking it seriously, Iron Man taking it seriously, Captain America taking it seriously. Hulk stabs a dude with another dude. Yeah, like shit would be awesome.
Well, I mean, it's like I want to see Planet Hulk.
Oh, they would definitely wait to do that.
Yeah. Planet Hulk will be awesome. I want to see where the Hulk went to Asgard. And, Odin had to fucking bring down the thunder to get Hulk the fuck out. Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's not your normal everyday ice troll.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about some boring ass new Marvel movies, watch either one of the Thor movies.
No interest. No interest whatsoever.
It drags on for so fucking long. It's one of those movies that is 90 minutes but feels like 3 hours.
And somehow has magical African American Norse gods.
I didn't even notice, because
I've seen that in advertisements and I still can't figure that. I can't figure that out.
Like through half of the movie, it was just like some bitching about the Tesseract. At least the first one. Yeah. And I was like, wait. Tesseract isn't supposed to exist in this where I just lean my head back and like try not to like choke on my own drool. Yeah. And then
the movie's so stupid you're swallowing your own fucking tongue.
And then the second one, spoiler alert, if you give a shit, Loki helps Thor to try to get out of Norse hell, and then Spoiler alert. Loki turns on Thor.
No.
Not
Loki.
No one would ever have seen that fucking coming for 10 miles away.
Yeah.
Like I didn't spot that ship coming over the horizon. I didn't know it would have been here.
All right, speaking of comics, all right, I haven't watched the trailer, but I seen some mention of it. This new trailer out
for Civil War.
No, for Superman versus Batman.
I
haven't even watched the trailer, and just from what I've heard, no fucking interest in this movie, none, because it turns out like halfway through the movie, it's not supposed to be just Batman versus Superman, which would be kind of fucking cool.
I knew they were going to introduce the Justice League.
Yeah. And, I think part of that's just, that's a vehicle. They're just trying to hitch a train so they can, keep making films.
And then, they're going to try to shit out as many, films a year as what Marvel does. Yeah. But instead of, where Marvel will go for, quality off-brand stories, like what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and now what they're going to do with Doctor Strange.
Yeah. It's just going to be shit flying around the screen.
I really want to see Ant-Man, too, because I've heard nothing but good reviews about Ant-Man.
Well, the thing that bugs me about the whole Batman-Superman thing was, you had to fucking throw Wonder Woman in it. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. I'm going to tell you right now, from what I remember in the past, and comic book collectors and everybody I used to deal with way back in the day, no one gave a flying fuck about Wonder Woman.
No.
Nobody. Wonder Woman was crammed down our throats, and nobody bought them goddamn comics. Nobody. Now here she is, got to be crammed down our throats again in this fucking movie.
And they didn't even pick a good actress to play her.
No.
They went for this safe, skinny bitch model route. Instead of getting one of these female UFC fighters like Ronda Rousey.
Exactly.
Who is kind of attractive.
Would fit the whole
Amazon warrior thing.
Yeah.
And in a legitimate fight.
Yeah.
If you were to have Ronda Rousey
Wonder Woman
fight Ben Affleck, dude, she would kick the shit out of him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, Wonder Woman should have been built more like fucking Xena.
Yeah.
But
even the
it's bad enough.
Even the woman that played Xena compared to Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey makes her look small.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey makes the one that played Xena petite.
Yeah. But it's bad enough you cram this down her fucking throat in this movie that has nothing to do with Batman and Superman. They're going to cram Doomsday into this fucking movie.
Which I already talked about Doomsday.
Yeah.
At length for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But he's a shit character that had a shit backstory.
Why the fuck does that have to be crammed in there?
I don't know. Like they're trying to get rid of the only thing. You're not gonna have anything left to throw at Superman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like after you throw Doomsday at him, then you got to start recycling your own shit.
Yeah, what was it they threw in that Spider-Man movie where they threw in the fucking Carnage and what was it, the Hobgoblin at the same?
Sandman. It was
yeah.
Venom and the Sandman at the same time.
Or Carnage, Venom, the same goddamn thing.
Shit. Yeah.
Which, speaking of Secret Wars, how the fuck how would you ever do a Secret Wars now that they fucked it up in the past?
Well, that's they did the split universe thing.
Oh,
because they have two separate Spider-Mans now that aren't related to the first two movies.
Oh my fucking god!
Which they just need to get it over with. New Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Stop fucking beating around the bush. Do the Sinister Six with Spider-Man. Yeah, this is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want. That's the one thing for me. I don't want alternate world bullshit. Comics are confusing enough.
Yeah.
Crisis
on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Crunches everything down, kills everybody, and then there you go. But yet again, the DC cinematic universe is different from their comic book universe.
Yeah.
Which I can understand. Marvel, they will never crunch their shit together.
Yeah.
That's where there's so many different separate series of it. I think the two related comic books that aren't 616 right now would be Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, which ends with him killing the Marvel staff,
mm-hmm.
and then Deadpool kills literature.
Yeah.
Or Deadpool Killustrated is what
yeah.
it's called. Where he goes back through, uses a machine that was built by all the evil scientists from the Marvel Universe before he kills them all.
Yeah.
To then jump through different stories of fiction and hope that all literature dies so that he is never written about, therefore never exists.
Yeah, and can finally die.
Yeah, it can finally just go away.
And you know how, it would be a great ending for that story? You show it all to the point that, like, Deadpool has killed the entire fucking world. He's brought around an apocalypse, right? Everything is destroyed. It's dead. And at the very end, you show like a cave and there's a fire. People are painting on the fucking walls and shit, right? And this old man is telling the story to a little kid about Deadpool. And then the way you do it is he's telling this fucking caveman story about Deadpool. You know, maybe you show like an amorphous image above him of Deadpool, like realizing, oh my fuck, I'm still here, you know.
Or you do the ultimate break of the fourth wall.
Mm-hmm.
You make him like in the last like panels of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Show him like just like I can't ever get done with all of this. Like he's done killed everybody, and like he's going like through his different stages, like going reverse in age.
Yeah.
And so it ends up with like the first drawings of Deadpool when he was in New Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally he takes one of his blades, slices open the comic panel.
Yeah.
And then just like walks out onto blank page because he can't stop existing.
Yeah. Which, you're talking about New Mutants. That was I actually kind of enjoyed some of that.
It went on for a very long time.
Yeah. But one of my favorite comic series come from the New Mutants was Fallen Angels.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that as a film, but that would never be made. I mean, it gets pretty ridiculous, like when, fucking the Devil Dinosaur and shit show up. And, yeah.
I don't know. They had a talking raccoon that had guns and a...
True.
And a tree that...
Well, the cybernetic lobsters, that'd be pretty fucking out there, but...
Man, there is a pickle-like thing in the Marvel Universe that is apparently in some Earths just like a television character, and then on some Earths it's an actual thing. So
yeah,
cybernetic lobsters.
Yeah. Well,
you're scratching the surface pretty deep, but
yeah. Well, another one they've always for years give it fucking bad shit, dude. But it was that whole Marvel New Universe.
Yeah.
Come out around 90 or so. I liked it. And maybe I'm just a masochist. I enjoyed all of it.
Well, they were introducing new characters that time. And really, it's sad that the only ones that survived for any amount of time that came from that were Cable, Copycat, Domino, and Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, those are the four that really only survived. And those four were kind of secondary characters compared to the rest of them. Well, because it was supposed to signify, like, everyone's gotten old at Professor X's academy.
Yeah.
And, you would have new students coming in all the time.
The new universe started with a star explodes way the hell off in the distance. And the energy from that star, this nova that exploded way the hell up. And very few people even saw it flash. And it affected people on Earth, created these new universe and all that. But it goes on like one of the universes created is way the hell in the future or something. But Strike Force Moratura. And it's where these people, they get created, they volunteer, they get superpowers for 1 fucking year.
Huh.
But to get them, you're going to die. That was the whole point. The Strike Force was, every one of them knew you will die from this process. And they're fighting this big war and shit. And that comic, I think, can make a damn good movie.
It sounds like a really good just science fiction concept.
Yeah. It's like the ultimate super soldier.
Yeah.
But everybody and their brother would shit all over it. As soon as they said, oh, new universe, oh my fucking God. And another one, they give it ration of shit. People ignore it now. The entire storyline of Merc. It was this whole thing about a mercenary. And, dude, believe it or not, well, fuck spoilers. He dies.
Yeah.
And that's the last comic. Fucking the Merc dies. I fucking loved it.
See, everyone's been, well, a ton of people who I talked to have been like busting their nut over the new Netflix series. God, it's supposed to be some Marvel character that I never really gave two shits about, which is Jane from Breaking Bad.
Let's say, which was one I'm trying to remember they're coming out with.
Because it's where she's battling against the purple guy. Yeah. And so it's like, it's one of those things is like, where my buddies are like, oh yeah, it's a good series. And I'm
Luke
like,
Cage?
Well, yeah, it's Luke Cage's girlfriend.
Yeah, which is another one. I'm sorry. That's another one. People seem to be throwing a fucking fit over this shit, Luke Cage and other. I don't ever remember that shit fucking mattering.
Yeah.
People didn't give a flying fuck back in the day about that stuff.
No.
And like Iron Fist and all them, people didn't give a fuck.
No, I didn't ever give a shit about Luke Cage even when he was in the video games.
Yeah.
No, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I mean, fuck that.
It's because he's not an interesting character. Falcon is an interesting character.
Yeah, but even then, people were like, fuck. It's a fucking Falcon episode.
Yeah.
Or issue.
But Falcon is more interesting than Luke Cage. War Machine is definitely more interesting than Luke Cage.
Yeah.
But it's they started like singing its praises, and it really sucks being a comic book fan with these movies.
Yeah.
It's because most of the time how shit's gonna end.
Well, I don't understand how nowadays, how can people afford to be a comic book fan?
Yeah, with how expensive comic books are.
Comic books are through the fucking roof.
If you get a new issue, I think it's like $2 or $3.99.
Yeah, but goddamn, nowadays each character has like 20 goddamn comics.
Yeah.
I mean, I had that problem years ago when I was collecting, It got to be a fucking problem. I'm like, I can't afford this. This is worse than a drug habit. It was cheaper for me to buy pot and to keep enough pot all fucking week back when I was a teenager than it was to try to keep up with my fucking comics.
And like I'm not gonna say this to like it is expensive to go out there and buy physical copies of comic books.
But when you can have a fucking drug habit easier than you can a comic book habit, fuck.
Like I think everyone should go out and support their locally owned comic book store. But comic book stores sell more than just comics, and they make more money off of the other things they sell.
Yeah.
They hardly make anything off of selling comic books. Comic books in a comic book shop do not keep the lights on. What keeps the lights on is the markup on collectibles.
Yeah.
That most of the time they sell in comic book shops.
Yeah.
So here's my advice to all listeners. If you really want to get into comic books, buy them digitally. They're cheaper. You can get entire issue or entire like series for like $5 to $10, $15.
Which is another thing I about spent myself broke on.
Collected issues?
Well, I would come across a story. I remember reading it, and it would say like at the little bottom of a picture,
continued in Super Friends issue 152.
Yeah, or it'd have like a little reference, and it'd say, see issue of such and such, number XYZ. I'd fucking be like, what the fuck? This shit was from 10 fucking years ago. Next thing you know, I'm down at the comic book store digging through the old fucking back issues.
Yeah.
Looking for some obscure ass copy of the Hulk.
Yeah. But buy your comic books and shit digitally. The money goes directly to Marvel. It gets spread like to the right places more directly than, buying comic books off the shelves.
Yeah.
But go out there, support your local comic book store by buying collectibles. Every time I go to Mr. G's in Murray, I'll go through it and I'll glance over the news section of comics. I'll see that he still has the same long boxes full of like DC characters I don't give a fucking shit about. The back issues are the things that are popular to most people and most people buy. So he has back issues at the ass of them. And then you can go up to talk to Mr. G while he's working, ask him about the newest Wu-Tang album, talk to him about Czarface, talk to him like his disinterest in any Marvel movie, especially Ant-Man, and like he's just like a real down-to-earth dude who dislikes comics. Yeah. Well, most of the time, like while he's sitting there, is either reading a comic book, reading some like stories or something like that. Mm-hmm. He really doesn't give a shit about DC Comics at all. And then buy the shit out of collectibles. Go in there and buy pop vinyl figures like I did.
Yeah. Well, I got out of comics years ago. There was 2 reasons. I couldn't afford it. Mm-hmm. It was just getting to be where I could not fucking afford it. And I got tired of the soap opera nature of everything. I mean, I got to where I was buying like one-shots in like miniseries, 4-part series, because they would start the story, and more importantly, they would end the goddamn story.
That's why I like getting collective hardcovers of like, especially like Deadpool Max. Yeah. Deadpool Max is a really great read. Punisher Max is a really great read.
Yeah, but there was the problem with me is I didn't want reprint.
You want an original?
Exactly. If I'm gonna keep it, it better be a fucking first print.
See, my thing is like hardcover just lasts.
Oh yeah.
And like if you want to read it multiple times, you don't have to worry about it.
I told you before, I read my comics.
Yeah.
Now I read them on a fucking towel, laid a towel out, pulled the comic out very carefully, and would open it. I mean, dude, I was very fucking particular. I would not touch them with like sweaty hands and, but I read every comic I had.
Yeah. Which,
I mean, that was the whole point. That's why I'm buying the damn thing.
Is to read it.
Yeah.
And not be one of these fake fucks that, just like, well, this issue is like expensive because this person did this in it. Yeah. Alright, that'll be, $90.
Yeah.
Are you gonna read it when you come? Taking it out of the plastic is against it. But yet,
even in
I say that and I have like action figures and toys that I never take out of the box.
What year was it? 91, 92. I paid goddamn near $100 for a comic book one time. Yeah, the first appearance of the Punisher. It was.
You have never told me this.
Oh yeah, I paid goddamn near $100 for that comic. It sit at the comic book shop over here in Martin for fucking months. I mean, dude, I'd all but fucking just stroked off. There at the counter looking at that motherfucker. I got paid one time, and like I said, I'm working for just a little over $3 a fucking hour. So my whole fucking check's like $110, $120. All right? And I said, fuck it. I went in that damn comic book shop, and I said, I want that fucking issue. And the guy's like, you sure it's, like $100? I don't give a fuck. Give it to me. And I read it.
Which, at that point, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Like.
Fortunately, that wasn't one of them that got stolen.
Yeah.
It was years down the road. I needed money, and I sold it for more than I paid for it. But I should have kept that fucking thing, dude. I really should have.
Is what is the grand goal of collectibles ever is an emergency rainy day fund. Yeah. If it really has to come down to it.
That's what this was. This was all my other comics had already been stolen and shit, but I still had this and some others.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I've got to have it. It broke my heart to take it back to a comic book shop and fucking sell it.
I bet the dudes behind the counter were like, holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. It was a different comic shop, different people running this one. And I went in, I said, look, man, I've got to sell it straight out. No fucking around, no dickering. What are you willing to pay for it? And the dude picked it up, and I remember he was like, the hell is this? I said, it's Punisher #1, the first appearance, like Spider-Man 214, I think it was. And he fucking pulled it out. I was telling him right off the bat, I said, staples are fucking perfect, not rusted. It's got fucking creamy white fucking pages, no markings, no chips. This fucking comic is primo, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have been probably graded in the 7 to 9 scale.
Or more.
Yeah.
It was up there, dude. I got it cheap. I remember like grading it myself, going over it and like realizing just how fucking lucky I got.
But I don't know why I've probably talked about this like on multiple podcasts, but it seems like with any toy line that even if I only get one of, like my Mega Man Amiibo, my brain for some reason turns on all of its servos and was like, you have to know everything about everything within this particular brand. Yeah,
I have that problem.
Like, I can tell you right now that the most expensive Pop Vinyl figure is Alex from A Clockwork Orange. And he is currently... Yeah.
Really?
Alex from A Clockwork Orange. He was the only one of that series. I think they made a special edition glow-in-the-dark Comic-Con one that actually they made more versions of than the original. But...
I'd rather have just regular Alex.
I think the last time I looked at it was $2,600.
You're fucking...
For one of those.
You were fucking shitting me.
Yeah. Let's see here. Right now, my most expensive one is, of course, the CM Punk. Which is in the range of anywhere between $29 and $36. I gave $14 for it.
Damn it. I can see why people enjoy it. Just any collectible, I can see why they enjoy it. It's their plastic crap.
Yeah.
The heads put me off.
I like it.
I know, but it's that whole bobblehead kind of thing. It just... It's like we were talking earlier about the size of the eyes in Disney Pixar movies.
Yeah, that just really that's totally odd. It's awful. But the only one that I have that I really am not all that impressed with was I got it because I bought the strategy guide that could kill a puppy if you dropped it on it.
Yeah.
Is the Vault Boy one.
Well, if I say Thrall there, this looks like just generic-ass goblin or something.
Oh, he's an orc from the World War. That's actually a really heavy figure compared to the rest of them. I guess he has like more detail in him than quite a few of them. But really with this Pop Vinyl figure collection that I have going on right now, it's... I buy myself all the stupid crap that I want.
Yeah.
I think my grandmother is planning on giving me like a Walmart gift card for Christmas, which I'm not going to use to buy stupid crap at all. I'm going to use to actually like buy toiletries.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, like, oh great, there's $30 in toilet paper and
toothpaste and socks and shit and stuff like that. Like actually being a responsible adult for some reason. Yeah, yeah, which never happens. It just doesn't happen.
No,
but like. It's more for me to tell my parents what I want, like, cause I'm like, I like Breaking Bad, I like stuff.
People have asked me, "What do you want for Christmas this year?" Right, and I've just had to be just straight up. I don't want goofy shit. Don't give me anything collectible. Nothing like that. If you feel like you really must give me something, then just hand me the fucking money, because I've got shit I've got to get done. And I know that sounds terrible.
No, it's completely reasonable. It's like...
Toss me one of them, man, if you would.
It's like, last year, I was in between jobs. Like, literally just quit one, like, and was waiting to start my first day of the other one.
Yeah.
Well, my car insurance fell in the time that I wouldn't get a paycheck. So I asked my parents for 2 tanks of gas.
Yeah.
And car insurance to be paid.
It's like there, I was telling them, so look, I don't want no video games. I don't need anything. If you feel like the need to get me anything, socks are always welcome.
Socks are great.
Give me a pack of socks and, I could really use a carburetor on one of my bikes.
Dude, plain white t-shirts that I wear for undershirts. Those are all fantastic.
Yeah.
Boxers.
Yeah.
Another great thing. Like,
welcome to adulthood.
I know. It's awful. Like I'm hoping that somebody who's like, gets me a thing of aftershave, so like it burns my face less. Or better yet, like a subscription to like Dollar Shave Club or some shit.
Tell them, so I tell you what, you want to do something for Christmas? Yeah, why don't you pay the server bill up for about 3 months? Not that we pay a ton for server.
No, that would be pretty. Dude, I would love that.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you think, 3 months, well, hell, that's $35 I ain't got to worry about. Yeah. But
jet.
Yeah, just I don't know. Which side note pisses me off. You know the bike I mentioned a while back about having to change out the petcock and everything. Okay, I finally figured a way around it using more modern parts that I'll be able to replace, in the future. I get it temporarily rigged up until just testing it, put everything back together. And get the fucking juice flowing to it. All of a sudden, that fucking carburetor starts pissing everywhere again. I'm done. I am done with that piece of shit. I've rebuilt that fucking carburetor. That was the 4th fucking time I've took it apart, put it back together. I'm done. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with it.
Except for to get another carburetor.
I'm just going to buy another carburetor, but I don't want a cheap ass knockoff.
Yeah.
They make a reproduction of that carburetor, but I'm sorry, it's Chinese shit. There's part of me saying, well, dude, you're at a point. Go buy a quality carburetor, make your own intake, and fuck it, go just full retard with this fucking bike. I know how to.
Which one is this?
The little black one. The FA.
Okay.
Yeah, and I could go. I've got the shit that I could go full fucking retard with this little stupid bike.
Yeah.
But I don't need this little bike being able to do 40.
No.
That fucking bike will kill you at 40.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was so pissed to look down the 4th time I've rebuilt this carburetor, dude. I honestly don't know what the fucking problem is. It has to be the float needle. But the float needle is perfect. The seat for the float needle is fucking perfect. The float floats.
Yeah.
It's just that 4th time of looking down and she's just pouring gas out the bottom of the fucking bike. I'm like, hey, you son of a bitch.
You know what? It's probably the simplest issue, like the most blatant, you don't want to hear it solution that it could possibly be. Could just be, it's like time for a new hard carburetor.
I know.
Like with my dad in the Jeep.
Yeah.
Like he almost got rid of the Jeep to a guy.
He said something to me about it, and I was like, are you sure you want to sell that car?
And the entire time, he was trying to like get the Jeep to move. I was telling him, I was like, the transmission is fucked.
Yeah, it was reverse. Reverse is what was fucked in that transmission.
Yeah, I'm like, the transmission period is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
It's burnt the shit up. The more you drive it, the more fucked it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I limped it home.
Yeah.
It's fucked, Dad. The transmission is fucked. Oh no, it's this, it's that, and the other, it's that.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Drag this fucker outside of Murray. Guess what? Transmission is fucked.
Yeah. Well, hell, me and him barely got some bitch moving out here. And we're gonna tow it to the house. I tried
telling him.
Well, it's what I've come to. I'm going to bite the bullet, and I'm just going to replace it. If I have to get a reproduction, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to go buy just an old carburetor, but the problem is that when you buy a used old carburetor off something, it could be just as fucked. Wore out. I think what I'm going to end up probably doing is getting this new one, this reproduction, and taking a lot of the old fucking original Suzuki parts and swap it over.
Yeah.
To keep it as original Suzuki as I possibly can.
And just, like, it's pretty much you're trying to, like, replace just what's bad that you can't replace.
Mm-hmm. See, because here's the thing. You can't just buy the float needle. Oh, hell no. No,
it's a package deal.
It is a package deal. It comes with everything else. And by the time you're done, I'm not bullshitting, $40-something.
For a needle.
For a fucking needle. Fuck you very much. I'm not spending it. I'm done. I can get the fucking rebuilt carburetor for half that. The whole fucking thing. I can buy a used one off an old bike for same fucking money. And fuck it. I'm done, you know? But it was one of the things I worked on this week, you know, and I got that sumbitch all together. And I'm like, yay, crank you motherfucker, you know, and I'm getting it all set. Yeah. I hadn't even had a chance to try to crank her yet. I was getting the carburetor set to right
What
spot.
pissed you off more, though, about it? The fact that it was pissing gas after you rebuilt it, or the fact that it was wasting gas? Like, what pissed you off more
kind of
about
a combination
that?
of the
both?
two.
It was like two piranhas just biting your ass at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
I was like, which hurts worse, the right or the left cheek? It doesn't really matter. I have piranhas on my ass.
Exactly. Well, it was a combination of both. Like, one, fuck, I'm going to have to replace this carburetor.
Fuck, I'm losing gas.
I'm losing gas.
So I ran my car till it was completely done with the little digital readout of me having gas at all in it yesterday.
Yeah.
So the gas light came on, and I was like, let's see.
Yeah.
I go up to the store. I was trying to predict, and I was like, it's going to take anywhere between $22 to $25 to fill up this tank.
Yeah.
It took me $21 and some change to fill up this car, and then I get 38 miles to the gallon on top of it. Everybody that I know that drives hates me because of that.
It wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't bother me because I've seen ads. Like, I think I told you, I seen an ad one time for a 32 Chevrolet.
I think it's 32 miles a gallon. 32 for 32. Yeah, that shit used to happen all the time.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to me because, like, I know shit have not put gas in that thing since the last time I came back from Missouri.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't bitch, dude. When I drove, like, so across the country, I loved the fact that we was getting great gas mileage, you know? We didn't have to stop every fucking 100 miles.
I'm not bitching either.
Yeah.
It's like I drove back 3 hours from there. Right? Drove to Murray. Drove around Murray. Murray is about like 45 minutes away. Then drove from Murray to Paducah and the Paducah to back.
Yeah.
So another 45 minutes there, another 45 minutes back. Drove around Murray some more. Drove back here. Drove back and forth to work every day. Then Saturday, well, Friday didn't work, but I think I went to Martin or something. Yeah. Saturday, drove to Jackson, worked, drove back, and then I put gas in it.
Well, even so, dude, I think you need to keep at least a gallon put away. You need a gallon can that, you know, won't fucking come apart. Yeah. Just keep it in the back of that car. Just in case, you know?
Well, I normally just, every Friday, I was just trying to see, like, how long could I go without putting any gas in it. And last night when I finally, the gas light came on, I was like, well, now's a good time. But I normally just fill it up every Friday. Just, it doesn't matter if it's used half a tank, quarter tank. Yeah. Almost all of it. It's just, fill it up.
I wish, dude, you would have loved my father, all right, for what he did with cars and shit. He always carried at least a gallon of gas, all right? You open his trunk, the car used to sag in the rear end. There was so much shit in the trunk, all right? I swear to God, the 69 Pontiac Catalina we had was fucking filled to the brim. He always carried a gallon of gas. He carried antifreeze. He carried all the oil he'd need. I mean, like a whole full engine worth of oil, all of the transmission fluid he needed, all right? He had at least 2 inner tubes, all right? Because in case you not just get one flat, you might get 2 at once. Even though I said, like, Pop, they're switching to fucking tubeless tires and shit. I don't give a shit. There, I'll get a tube. You know, it's belt and suspenders kind of shit. Yeah. He had so many tools. Dude, he had a whole fucking inventoried list what tools will I need to work on my car? And it was like a whole fucking shop when he would open that trunk. He had like everything he'd fucking need.
It's like, God, what is it? The arms dealer in Scarface, the game.
Yeah.
He just comes by and pops the trunk and is like, hey, I say, I want a shotgun.
Yeah.
And it's like, your dad's like, hey,
I got
need
that.
a tire iron?
Exactly.
Got that shit.
Dude, we used to stop. We'd see people like sometimes broke down beside the road.
And your dad would do a complete 24-point inspection.
Goddamn near.
Leave them with the Pet Boy seal of approval sticker on their windshield. This is when you need to get your oil changed next, and I recommend you taking it by the shop. You're sitting there using the rag on his hands, and you're like, yeah, that'd be $160. Yeah, you can go ahead and send me the bill.
Well, you talk about the rag. He had like a box of rags. He had a box of Gojo to wipe your hands off.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, he stopped one time to help this guy, and the guy was like, well, I'm fucked, dude. We got to do the XYZ. There's no way we can do that. My dad was like, just a minute. Walked around back of the car, you know. It was crazy.
Like the big question is,
he'd come out.
Spare hoses.
Yeah, he had all kinds of shit.
The spare hoses thing.
I'm telling you, he had generic ass shit like hoses and crap. And it was unreal, dude. I mean, the car, like I said, the car sagged in the rear end. People used to laugh because they'd see him go by and it looked like a lowrider because the rear end's damn near on the ground.
It was just all of his shit.
And it was because of years and years and years of like, fuck, I'm stuck. Next time I'm carrying XYZ. You know, and over years, that fucking collection grew. And I mean, he transferred it eventually to a pickup truck. You know, had these toolbox in the back and all that.
But the point of where you go and buy a large amount of hose just in case of breakdowns mean that this guy had been through some serious shit.
He had brake line, brake hoses, fucking radiator hose, all kinds of shit. Extra spare fucking spark plug wires, extra spark plugs, 2 extra tubes for the tires. Always 2 spare tires in the back. Not 1, 2. You know, it's just a ridiculous amount of shit. And I remember bringing it up, I was like, Pop, isn't this killing your gas mileage? You know, carrying all this extra weight? And he's like, it's worth the extra amount just to know that I'm not fucking stuck. Yeah. I mean, he used to carry like multiple jacks. He had a floor jack, a bumper jack, and a fucking scissor jack.
And then these things came out called cell phones.
Yeah, well, fuck cell phones.
and then you can be like, I do whenever I break down, and I instantly bring up my dad's number, and I'm like, Dad!
Yeah, well,
I'm stuck! Come get me!
And my old man would have probably told you, well, figure it the fuck out, son.
No, Dad just gets there, he puts his hands on the side of his neck and looks over and it's like, yep, it's that. I'm like, alright.
Yeah.
Take care of it, Mr. White.
Exactly. Fucking discombobulate the fuckulator or whatever the hell.
I don't know what any of that shit is. I'm done with cars.
Yeah. If I had money and where I could just do the shit I want, I would probably have something like that. Like a setup like I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Where just redundance on top of redundance. Because I have been stuck. I have fucking just been left out high and dry. Like, we are so fucked. You know? Hell, dude, one time I fixed one of my mopeds. Alright? One of the brake. Alright, I was heading to fucking be a cheap ass. I couldn't afford to fix the rear brake on my bike. Fuck, I've got 2. I'll use the one in front for the time being, even though it's dangerous, right? I'm out going somewhere, the fucking front brake broke on the bike. I ain't got no fucking brakes on this bike. I am not bullshitting. I cut the fucking line, alright? I physically tied the brake line together. The brake cable. And I was lucky that I actually had a fucking pair of pliers, you know, like a fold-up pocket tool. Had that on me. I tied that shit together to keep tension on the fucking cable. I went to the side of the road and cut pieces of bamboo. All right. Where I had repaired my seat in the past, I pulled fucking tape and shit off the seat and used that to bind everything together. And I mean, it was just fucking cobbled together crap. All right. I actually got it to where I could have brakes on this bike. Got it home. It worked so damn well that I used it for another fucking month until I could actually afford to fix it.
And then you broke out of the POW camp from the Nazis.
That's the way it felt.
Fucking MacGyver shit.
I was, dude. I was thinking, I'm going to have to ride this motherfucker home with no brakes.
You know what I would have done instead of like doing all that? Because
dude, I called somebody and cried.
No. If I didn't have a cell phone, I would have used my heels as brakes.
No, you wouldn't.
Really?
No, you won't, dude. No, hell no, you won't.
Well, yeah.
You'll break your fucking legs doing that shit. Jam your hip.
I think I would have just like stayed on it and turtled my way back.
Yeah, but say, think what would happen. Just even at 10 miles an hour down the road, stick your fucking foot down. What do you think would happen if your leg suddenly went fucking tight?
Torn ACL.
You would bounce. Think about it. All that pressure going straight up into your hip and probably launch you off the side of the bike.
Oh, the bike would stop then.
Well, yeah, it'd stop because you're laying in a ditch with a broken hip.
Ow!
Yeah.
I fallen and I can't get up.
You need medical alert. God damn, I remember them ads, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And that shit come out when I was younger, dude. We used to... Yeah. I hate to say it. We laughed at that old woman.
Well, everyone did, dude. Even when I was growing up, we did.
Yeah. I'm falling and I can't get up. Or there's that one, too, where the guy falls. My hip!
Yeah. There's a GIF version of that one now. Not the old man, but the old woman where she's starting to fall down the stairs when she's yelling out.
Yeah.
They put Allah Akbar at the bottom, and then when she gets done rolling down the stairs, they put in a Michael Bay explosion.
Awesome.
This shit's so funny. I die laughing every time I see it.
See her flipping down the stairs going,
Allah Akbar!
God.
Alright. We have ran on for 100 minutes.
Yay.
Now you don't have like 8 hours to cut.
Yeah, I cut, like I said, last episode, I cut a fucking hour out of it.
Well, you saw what I tweeted out about to both the Picklestick Pod and to Sick Nasty at the same time, where it was like, and thanks to Sick Nasty's Twitter handle for giving Picklestick Pod a lot to edit.
Yeah, I spent a lot of fucking time.
I can only imagine, because there was a lot of shit cut. I haven't listened to the final product yet, but I saw the runtime on it.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the runtime from the raw copy that I still have on my laptop.
There's at least about an hour cut out.
I was like, holy shit.
I told you I was taking an axe to it. I wouldn't fucking
No, you weren't lying at all.
And there's still shit I could have cut out of it. There was a whole lot of, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Leave it.
Yeah.
But, this has been a fine Picklestick production of the Generation Gap podcast. I have been Lunchbox.
I'm Gleek.
And we're going to get right back at you next week. Hopefully, don't fucking send me anywhere. No! Lord God, no! Hello there. It's the Gump Ape here. And, you can follow these two hack frauds on the Twitters at PicklestickPod. Shoot them an email, picklestickproductions@gmail.com. Visit their web zone, picklestick.com, or maybe be able to find them on Stitcher and the iTunes.